Viewmasters, it's the podcast that we do. Viewmasters, talk about movies that we view. Viewmasters, my friend Eric and me, Joe. Viewmasters, hey, let's start the show.
Hey, welcome to the Viewmasters, episode 206, Knives Out. My name is Joe.
My name is Eric.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, Joe.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, you staying alive over there?
So far.
All right. So.
Yeah. Healthy?
If this is called living.
Yeah. I mean, it really is, actually.
I guess it is. Yeah, you're right.
Mean, neither of us has had any massive changes.
I am staying healthy. I know you have more human contact throughout the week than I do, so I hope you're staying healthy as well.
For the most part, I've been fighting what I hope is just a cold.
All right.
I hope.
You haven't had a fever, have you?
No, I have not.
Okay, I think that's one of the things is a fever.
Yeah. But it is hard to breathe, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got the asthma to deal with as well.
I do. It's
so that's
just
not helping.
Yeah, it's been a little worse than usual. So, and with everything just making me incredibly anxious, it's not helping.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, I want to stay informed, and I want to be in the know about certain things, but it just got to the point last week on Twitter where I had to mute all the words.
Yeah.
Because I was not doing well.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's all anybody's talking about, so yeah. I do not blame you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to imagine what your timeline looked like after you muted things.
You know what? Not that much different, because it turns out when people talk about it, they're not actually using any of the words that I'm muted.
That makes it really hard.
Yeah.
They're subtweeting the virus.
So
yikes.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay. Let's talk about Knives Out instead.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say right off the bat that this movie was absolutely delightful.
It was spectacular. Yeah.
Yes.
I love Knives Out.
So I actually did this time. I turned off my phone and
Nice.
I hid it from myself, so that I wouldn't be tempted to try to pick up my phone, which really helped.
I bet. Yeah, there's a lot of little details that pay off later on in the movie in Knives Out.
Yep. And also I don't know if it's a comprehension thing. I don't know if it's my hearing is just getting worse. But I've been trying to watch things with subtitles a lot lately.
Right. Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, and so I started the movie, and about 5 minutes in, I was like, I need to put the subtitles on, which also helped me immensely.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Let's just say right off the bat that we're probably going to spoil things about this movie.
Yeah, probably.
So if people are listening who haven't seen it, go watch the movie before you listen to the rest of this.
Yeah, I would also just say right now that our overall review is that it is great and you should go watch it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
worth your time.
Yeah, and so our discussion of that, will, I mean, I don't want to super spoil things for sure, but it's hard not to with this type of movie.
So I guess to avoid the outright spoiler, there is sort of an oral with an AU, so AURAL trick that's played at one point with a character saying a word that ends up actually being a different word. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Stupid?
No, not stupid with two O's.
Okay.
No.
No, I do not then.
It's, okay, then it's gonna make it really hard. When Marta goes to the dry cleaner, and she meets the housekeeper.
Yes.
There.
Okay.
The housekeeper says something that ends up being something different later on.
Yes. Yes.
Once you actually know. Okay. So was that spoiled by the subtitle, or did the closed caption tell you what Marta thought she heard?
The closed caption tricks you.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it plays out the trick. Yes.
Okay. That was a long way to go for... I don't know if it was worth the payoff.
It, satisfied your curiosity, right?
Yeah, it did. And I enjoyed trying to figure out how to talk about it without outright spoiling it.
Right. I will say that, oh boy, how do I want to say this? I hadn't even thought of that aspect of it until you just mentioned it.
Oh, really?
Like it didn't even occur to me that, oh, okay, that's what was happening there.
Right.
It happened, and I read the subtitles and watched the movie, and then when that comes back and plays out, it's still an oh moment. But it did not even occur to me that the closed captioning tricked me.
Right. Yeah, and that's a super in the weeds thing that I decided to fixate on.
No, I'm glad you brought it up.
Well, I love stuff like that where you think you hear something one way and then it turns out to be something else entirely. So
right.
So yeah, that was one of my I think it's one of my favorite parts. Or a part that I really enjoy in the movie. I also don't know how well it was established that it could have been taken another way until later on. Mm-hmm. But aside from that, if I had to point out what I consider a quote unquote weakness in the movie, it would be that tiny little thing that I don't know if it was established well enough. But I get over it really quickly.
I think that this thing that you're talking about is... I think it's established enough where it's not made a huge deal, but that when it is brought up later, it did click in my brain. It's like, oh yeah, they did mention that.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I think that is perfectly fine. Because I think if it had been pointed out more, I think that would have made it a little trite and less effective.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that sort of goes along with, I feel like there's a lot of subtle things that are not made a big deal of that repeat or that pay off in the last act of the movie, and it's God, it's so fun. I love it.
It really is. So, if for some reason someone is still listening to this and having not seen it, or even not heard of this, this is pretty much just a classic murder mystery.
Yeah, it's a who has done this. My favorite type of story is who has done this. That's for everybody who's watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine 4 weeks ago or whenever this airs.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad that I did.
I am too, because otherwise this would have been real awkward.
I mean, I would have found your statement of that funny in a way, just not in the way that you meant it to be.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah. Oh, everybody
it's a
should
whodunit.
Huh?
It's a whodunit.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah, definitely in the sort of Agatha Christie style of whodunits.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen too many of those, honestly. Have you?
I don't think that I have. Like, I'm much more familiar with Columbo.
Sure.
Or Murder, She Wrote, which is or Columbo for sure is in the same vein.
Columbo, though, the standard format for those that you see who does it.
Oh, okay.
And then you just, you get the joy of watching Columbo, figure it out and corner the guy.
Gotcha.
Or girl.
Yeah, that I completely forgot about that aspect of Columbo.
But yeah, Columbo, Murder, She Wrote, Law and Order to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially Law and Order CI. Criminal Intent.
Right, of course.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why I'm telling you. You are, of course, a
I have a degree in lupine criminology. Yes. This is. I was thinking about Clue a lot while I was watching this.
There's definitely some aspects of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
They even mention it in the movie at one point.
Right. The house is a clue board.
Yep. Almost in a Columbo-like aspect of the movie, they kind of tell you exactly what happens pretty early on.
They do, yeah. That really surprised me.
Yeah. Because, again, while I did not have my phone out, I did pause the movie like twice. And, I think it was like a half hour in or so when I paused it the first time, and it was kind of around there where almost everything had been revealed.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's still an hour and 40 minutes left of this movie. What is going to happen? But, like, in a very good way. Like, not in a, like, Jesus Christ, how long do I have? It was just like, how are they going to fill this time? Because I'm invested.
Yeah. No, I think Rian Johnson is someone who I trust with that, like just based on his past work. I don't know that I've seen a movie of his that I haven't really enjoyed.
You mean
so
even the Star Wars movie that he ruined the entire franchise?
Even that one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even that one that might be the best Star Wars movie?
No.
Fight me, internet?
No, you're right. It is actually the best Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
Just shut up, everyone. But yeah, like, when that reveal happens, I trust him to be like, okay, there's got to be more to this.
Right.
And even if there's not, however we get to wherever we're going to end up is going to be an entertaining journey. So just sort of sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah. I will say this, during the last act of the movie, during this sort of wrap-up scene where Daniel Craig starts walking through the entire movie, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
I was literally on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, it's like the donut speech that he gives. Like, from there to the end is just glorious.
Yeah. mean, I'll just go ahead and say it right out. Almost everyone in this cast is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's not a bad performance in this movie.
And Daniel Craig definitely takes the cake for it.
Yeah, I saw someone, an artist that I follow on Twitter, drew a sketch of Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Right.
And, like, I don't see James Bond when I look at him now. I see Benoit Blanc. Like, it's a defining character for him. It's amazing.
I still see James Bond, but I will say this. Like, I did not see him as James Bond at all in this entire movie.
Yeah, not at all.
Like, he didn't really change how he looks, but he definitely did not look like James Bond.
Yeah, it's his physicality, his mannerisms, obviously the way that he speaks,
right,
is so different.
I have a friend who, I think back when Logan Lucky came out, was just complaining about Daniel Craig as an actor. He was just like, and also just complaining about the James Bond movies and everything.
Yeah.
And, I was just like, no, he's a good actor. James Bond doesn't really give any actor a lot to really work with.
Yeah, James Bond is kind of a block of wood.
Right, yeah, especially his iteration of James Bond.
Yeah.
Who's definitely more cold and unfeeling. And he has his moments in those movies for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like every other movie I've ever seen him in, he is great. And Logan Lucky is probably my favorite role of his that I've seen him in, because it is so ridiculous. And this is pretty close though, because it is almost that level of ridiculous but scaled back just a smidge.
Right.
Plus, he's actually intelligent and has some agency.
Yeah, no, I actually had forgotten that he was in Logan Lucky, but that movie is a fantastic movie as well.
Yes, it is. Like the scene when Marta goes to the dry cleaner, and
and he's just in the car.
Yeah, singing.
Yes.
Was amazing.
It's so great. And then just the look of surprise as he sees all the police cars pull up. It's so good.
Oh, very good. I apologize. My audio seems to be doing something weird. I don't know.
No, that's happening. Okay. That's all right.
Can you hear me fine?
I hear a little bit of a hum, but
okay.
I hear your voice fine.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it for now.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like we could talk about Daniel Craig in this movie for the full length of the episode, and yeah, that's just everybody in this movie is great. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis is spectacular. Jeff Bridges, I wanted to punch.
Was that Jeff Bridges is not in this movie?
Not Jeff Bridges. Who is that? Beau Bridges?
No.
Who am I thinking of? Her husband.
Mike. Oh, Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. Thank you. You know what? It's okay. Don Johnson played Nash Bridges on TV.
I see your thread.
And now in my mind he is a Bridges.
All right, that's fair.
But he is perfectly punchable in this movie.
Absolutely. I mean, he was great though, as that just perfectly punchable human being.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon was great in it too.
Michael Shannon is great, I feel like, in everything.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of one movie but that mostly just might be the movie's fault.
He's a bright spot in that movie.
Well, maybe
he devours the scenery in that movie, and it's kind of really entertaining.
I mean, I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters, so
Yeah.
So I'm probably just latching on to all the terrible aspects of that movie.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
Of course, I'm talking about Shape of Water.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day?
Yeah, he's in Groundhog Day. That's his first film role is in Groundhog Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
He's one of the young lovers that Phil helps get together.
Huh. I learn something new every day.
Yeah, I think he has 2 scenes. It's worth checking out.
All right.
It's the only time you'll ever see him smile.
I think he smiled in this movie.
Did he?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He was definitely more affable in this movie than he usually plays.
Yeah, definitely. He's more... I mean, he's sort of a wounded puppy for a lot of the movie.
And, to be fair, every member of the family in this movie are terrible people.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not a good one among them.
Yeah, I think the closest you get to a good one is probably...
Meg?
Meg, the daughter.
Yeah.
Or the Harlan's granddaughter. And even she sort of turns out to be not great.
Yeah. I think the only character that doesn't have any kind of personality, sadly, is Ricky Lindholm's character.
Yeah,
but also,
she's just sort of in the background.
Yeah, but also Ricky Lindholm is in this movie.
I know.
What?
It's so weird. She's in the movie and she has nothing to do.
No, I think she has 2 lines, maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was weird. Also in this movie, who apparently, I guess, was just a voice, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I read that too, yeah.
Detective Hard Rock.
Right. Yeah, he's the detective on the TV show that Marta's mom is watching towards the beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, so he's just a voice on the TV.
Okay. I was wondering where that was. So, he's kind of disappeared.
He kind of did, yeah.
But he's at least done a voice in Rian Johnson's last 2 movies.
Right. He's out there getting people to do free work for exposure. So,
Is he?
I think so. He's got that hit record thing. Yeah, that I'm pretty sure the whole thing is make stuff and maybe we'll share it. I'm pretty sure that's all that is. I could be completely mistaken. If there are any listeners out there who know more about that and want to correct the record, I would appreciate it. But as far as I know, that's all that is.
Yeah, well, if that is true, that's unfortunate.
It's kind of a bummer, yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Christopher Plummer is... only in a few scenes in this movie, but he's fantastic.
Yep.
He's 91. Did you know that?
Is he really?
We were looking up to see how old he is because I actually discovered that the actress that plays his mother was also Martha Kent on Lois and Clark.
Oh, okay.
In the mid '90s,
the Dean Cain,
the Dean Cain Superman. Yes.
All right.
So that shocked me, but she, I guess, is either 6 or 8 years younger than Christopher Plummer.
All right.
Yeah. So that led me down a rabbit hole of how old is Christopher Plummer?
Right.
And he was born in 1929, so he is very old.
Wow. Glad to see that he's still doing stuff.
He's so great for a 91-year-old actor in this movie.
I honestly, because his character in the movie is 85.
Right.
And I honestly thought that he was maybe in his early 80s, late 70s.
Yeah, I did not think he was that old.
Yeah, and I would have assumed that, the woman playing his mother was probably like 2-3 years older than him.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of character age, like how old would she be?
She would be ancient.
Yeah. I was like, well, I guess you could have had him young, so like you're 16, so like 16 years older than him. That's still incredibly old.
That's still over 100.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it's true.
The roaring 20s. Yeah. And then, of course, Chris Evans.
Oh yeah,
as Ransom.
Cannot believe we have not mentioned Chris Evans yet.
Because
Captain America.
I love Chris Evans.
He's pretty great.
I might be a little in love with Chris Evans.
That's fair. He's pretty lovable.
He's Captain America, as you said.
Exactly.
But very un-Captain America-like in this movie.
It's weird because I'll be honest, I don't particularly think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
But he does have a lot of charisma, and I've never not enjoyed a performance by him. But at the same time, I don't think he's great, but he is entirely watchable.
Yeah, no, I would give you that. I think that there is an earnestness to him, or just the way that he commits to something is something that I really enjoy. Like Jenny and I were endeavoring to watch all of the movies that he's in, so we've watched some real dogs.
Sure.
But like Cellular, for example, is a movie that he's in, and he commits to that ridiculous story so hard. And I really appreciate the way that he takes it and runs with whatever material he's given.
Yeah, I give it that. I think that's probably the reason why he works so well as Captain America.
I agree. Yeah,
because Captain America should be an earnest, giving it all he's got type character.
Yeah,
and he definitely, comes through with that.
Yeah, and maybe I'm just reading that on him because I know him so well as Captain America, but it stands out to me. Like there's a scene early on in The Perfect Score where he's talking about just his future and how he needs to get a good score on his SATs or something, and he's just so earnest about it. And it's just like, oh, that's Captain America right there. I can see why they cast this guy as Captain America.
I remember him in, because we talked about Snowpiercer a couple of weeks ago. Even in that, when he's giving the speech about eating babies.
Right.
It's just like, well, yep, I'm buying that.
Yeah, it's nonsense, but man, it hits hard.
Yep. And I think in the first Captain America movie, when he's, skinny, tiny Steve Rogers, I think that is absolutely what works best and what sells him as that character entirely.
Yeah.
And so, coming into this movie where he is just an absolute jackass, it still all totally works.
He's so good as a jackass.
It kind of reminds me of his character in Scott Pilgrim as well.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. And also, because, he's not really seen up until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
But when he arrives, he definitely leaves an impression.
Yeah, and I know when we watched it last night again, and Jenny made a joke that the hardest acting that Chris Evans has ever done is having to act like he doesn't like dogs. Because Chris Evans famously loves all dogs.
Right?
So, like, when he first arrives and he's just like, get away from me because the dogs are barking at him. Like, that, give that man an Oscar.
Yep, you all right?
I'm fine. I'm just punching the table with enthusiasm.
Well, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, so last night was the second time that I've seen this. The first time was in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And once, obviously most movies where there's like a central mystery, and then you go back and watch it once you know the answer or whatever the secret of the movie is, it sort of changes the experience.
Sure.
I got so much out of a second viewing of this movie that I missed the first time around, or that I just didn't know that I was looking for the first time around. It was so rewarding.
That's awesome. As soon as the movie was over, I was like, I should watch this again.
Yeah,
it's so
watchable.
Again,
it's so watchable.
Like, I would have postponed the recording of this podcast to watch it a second time.
I would have happily been like, go for it. You should do that.
No, it is a fantastic movie. It's fun as hell. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's also at times very tense.
It is a stressful movie, that's for sure.
And yeah, like even the smallest role in the movie, there is not a bad performance in it.
Yeah. And it's so tightly written. Like there's not a line of dialogue or exposition that is out of place or that's wasted at all. Nope. It's all there. Just it's in service to the story. I want to say it's flawless, honestly.
It's pretty damn close to flawless.
It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, like just the structure of it, the plot itself, the mystery itself, like I was thinking about this while watching the movies. Like, I would never be able to write a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it.
And that's got to take and I don't know. It's been forever since I've seen Brothers Bloom. Is there a mystery aspect to that movie?
There's twists within twists within twists in that movie.
I know it's very twisty. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that there's really a mystery to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just a lot of layers in that movie.
Yeah. Like, you mentioned earlier Rian Johnson's filmography and how there's probably not a loser in the bunch. I just thought of the loser in the bunch.
Oh no, what is it?
Looper.
Oh, I liked Looper.
Oh man, I did not. I wanted to like it so much, but it felt so flat to me.
Yeah, admittedly it's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its moments. It is enjoyable to a point, but it's definitely his weakest movie for sure.
I would agree with you there.
Yeah. And like, based on the strength of Brick and Brothers Bloom, and my own biases, like, I was not looking forward to his Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
When it came out, because I don't generally care for Star Wars anyway.
Right.
And, I hadn't seen Force Awakens or anything, so I was on vacation when Last Jedi came out. My friend wanted to go see it, so we did. But, I watched Force Awakens beforehand. But yeah, Last Jedi is fucking great.
It's, I think I don't know. I was going to try and say I think why people don't like it is because I honestly have no idea why people don't like it, other than they just don't like what happened to the characters, but it's so good.
Yeah, like oh man. Like, just go watch A New Hope over and over again if that's the only thing you want out of Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel like if there was only one Star Wars movie that I could watch ever again, it would probably be The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Just, it's so strong. It's the tightest of the Star Wars movies.
Absolutely. But I think, the point I was trying to make was that, it definitely takes someone with a keen intelligence to be able to write mysteries or twisty plotted movies.
Yeah.
And between this and Brick, for sure, it's weird that he has also made, 2 sci-fi movies as well.
It is weird, you're right.
And I know that at one point there was the plan where he was going to direct his own trilogy of Star Wars movies, and I kind of hope that still happens just based on the strength of The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But also, if he just wants to make, if he wanted to do Murder, She Wrote the movie, I would buy the ticket right now.
That would be really great.
Assuming movie theaters will be open.
Right. I know that there is a Knives Out sequel.
Is there?
There is. That it would just be another Benoit Blanc mystery story. But I believe that he's working on that now.
That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
100% on board. I'm entirely fine with Daniel Craig retiring James Bond and just becoming Benoit Blanc for the rest of his life.
Exactly. Yeah. I love it.
I don't want to spoil what happens at the very end of this movie, but the very last shot of the movie just made me grin with what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't want to spoil, but I think things are going to work out fine for the character in that last shot.
Right.
and not so well for the others.
Yeah. Well, and a friend pointed out to me that last shot is sort of a mirror of the first shot of the movie, because the very first thing that we see inside the house is the object that's seen in that last shot as well, and it's the context is entirely different. It's it's just so smart.
I loved this movie.
I did too.
And a little behind the scenes here is that I like to pirate things occasionally.
What? Who are you? How dare you?
I'm a pirate.
Yar.
But you texted me last night because you bought this movie on Blu-ray. I'm assuming Blu-ray.
Of course, yes.
Okay. I don't know. Could be, 4K, HD, Ultra, whatever. I don't know.
I bought it in 3D. Want to see those knives coming at you.
Ooh, all of them. Knives Out for sure.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, you asked me if I wanted the digital code for it. And I said yes. And I was able to happily get that to work. So even though I had already pirated it, I now have at least a semi-official copy of it.
Congratulations on on having something legally. I guess the bar is so low for things we're congratulating each other on.
Yeah, I was actually going to buy this sight unseen, but just money is a little tight.
Yeah.
And the last time that I was able to actually go into a Walmart without there just being millions of people there, all the DVDs were just completely cleared out.
Like all of them, or just this movie?
All.
Wow.
Every fucking thing except for season sets of the Beverly Hillbillies or something like that. Yeah.
I thought those would be the first things to go from Walmart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little shocked too. But
I actually, when this movie came out on Blu-ray, I went to multiple different Targets, and they were all completely sold out of it.
Oh wow!
So I ended up having to order it online to get it.
It's, you can bitch about Amazon all you want, but it's goddamn convenient, and sometimes they are cheaper.
It is. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, Jeff Bezos is going to fuck us all in the end, but, let's take advantage while we can, I guess.
Right. I don't know. I like the instant gratification of buying a movie, particularly in a store, so that I can have it immediately. I was just impressed and shocked that no store that I went to, at least of the 2 or 3 stores that I went to look for that movie, none of them had it. It sold so well for them. So that made me really happy, actually.
Yeah. I remember when the movie came out in theaters, and I had wanted to see it then, but I just never had the opportunity. But I was very happy to discover that or at least when it came out, that it was a hit. Because I think I could even tell that it was just going to be really good no matter what. And again, Rian Johnson's track record, even Looper, is pretty solid.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that he, I'm sure he's a fan of Star Wars, and he probably definitely has a love for that, but at the same time, it's also, a work for hire gig.
Yeah.
And I'm always glad when I can see someone, especially him, who definitely has a clear vision of what he does, be able to do the thing that he likes to do.
Yeah, at this point, I would rather see him do more original stuff.
Right.
Than stuff based on other things.
Right.
It would be cool to see him do another Star Wars, or to do, something in the comic book genre or something.
Right.
But I'd rather watch 12 more Benoit Blanc mysteries than
exactly.
Or I should say, I'd rather watch one more Benoit Blanc mystery than 12 Rian Johnson Star Wars movies, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I get it. It's like with comic books, whenever, just as an example, I'll say Chris Samnee, who's an amazing artist, and, he's basically only worked for Marvel and DC for, the last, 10 years or so. And, when he announced his contract with Marvel was up, and, he was done drawing Marvel books, everyone was like, oh man, I wonder what he's going to do over at DC. He should do Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, no, he should do his own thing.
Yeah.
And he is now. And that's awesome. And that's always
he's doing 2 of his own thing now.
I know, right?
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't understand this. Yes, I love it when artists I love, work on characters that I like from established companies, but boy, I would love it more when they do their own thing.
Yeah.
And I don't get the attitude of oh, fuck that, I want to see them do, Plastic Man.
Well, I think there's people that care more about the characters than they do the creators, and they're wrong. Period.
Exactly.
I did have the chance to read the prelude graphic novel for Firepower, the book that he's doing with Robert Kirkman.
Stealth Iron Fist?
Yeah, exactly. And it's fantastic.
Good.
It's so good.
I pre-ordered the graphic novel. I think I even ordered the free comic book day freebie thing, too.
Nice. For whenever that comes out.
Whenever that'll happen, yeah.
In September.
Yeah, maybe. I'm gonna have a shit ton of sketch cards ready for them.
I totally didn't think of that. That's great for you.
Oh yeah. I may not have to draw anything while I'm there.
Nice.
Because I'll just have 300 cards.
And you just stand there and look at people as they pick them.
Yep. Alrighty, Knives Out, highly recommended.
Definitely. 2 thumbs way up.
Yeah, same here. I use Letterboxd to keep track of movies that I watch and rate them when I can. And,
okay.
It's a star rating system up to 5 stars there.
Okay.
And I don't give anything 5 stars because that means that it is an absolutely perfect movie.
Right.
And I don't think that those exist. But I did give this one 4.5 stars.
Nice.
Because it is at least as close to perfect as I believe anything can probably get.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah. So you got something. You got some big shoes to fill for your next pick here.
I know I do. Well, I was thinking. I had a few things in mind. I think I've landed on one that we should both have access to.
Okay.
There is a movie on Amazon Prime called The Report.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
I have not. I don't think I've heard of it.
Okay. I believe it's about the CIA's torture report.
Okay.
But I thought it looked really good. It has Adam Driver in the lead role.
Okay.
And so I am picking the Report.
Okay. Sounds good. I was worried for a minute that you might pick Bloodshot, since we can now watch it digitally at home.
If I was going to make you pay for one of those, it would have been something other than Bloodshot. That's for sure.
I would absolutely watch Bloodshot. I'm not paying $20 to watch Bloodshot.
Not in a million years.
Never.
Sorry, Valiant.
But before all the theaters closed, I had a $5 off coupon for a movie ticket from Fandango.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll go see Bloodshot for $2.50 or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go to an early matinee and pay whatever bare minimum price I can see that movie for. And then all the theaters closed, and I was like, well, there goes that. And they were like, it's going to come out on digital just so people can watch it at home. And when I saw how much, I was just like, yeah, no.
It's excessive.
Like when you talked about on Twitter renting Invisible Man for $20, that freaked me out, but you were at least able to justify it. I was like, well, it is you and Jenny. And,
yeah.
But I don't have anyone that I would have paid extra money to see Bloodshot with me.
I can't imagine why.
Yeah, so that is not worth it.
Yeah. No, I'd say $2.50 is probably the correct amount to pay to see Bloodshot.
That's how much I've paid to see Venom, and I'm totally okay with having paid that to see Venom.
Absolutely. Yeah. Venom's a hell of a lot of fun for $2.50.
Exactly. All right, so The Report, Adam Driver.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes, I believe Catherine Keener may be in that as well, but I could be making that up.
Okie doke. I don't know the name offhand.
No? All right. You'd recognize her.
Okay. I trust her.
All right.
Alrighty then.
We'll see you next time then.
I hope so.
All right. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to The Viewmasters. You can subscribe to the show directly at view.guttertrash.net or at iTunes and leave us a review. Visit view.guttertrash.net for email information and links to Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time on The Viewmasters.